Welcome to Distorted Opinions. I'm Kayla, and this week I'm joined by Matt and Ted. And guys, believe it or not, it is January 1st, 2022.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yes, an entire year has passed.
Scary. I saw a meme and I really like it. It said 2022 just sounds like 2020 sequel. And I am not looking forward to that. And I hope it's not a sequel of 2020. 2022.
Golly.
2020, the sequel.
Let's hope not, huh?
Right? I
mean, so last year we did a best and worst wrap up for the end of 2020. And we thought we would do the same thing this year. And I think maybe this is a good time to mention that maybe one of the highlights of 2021 that hopefully we will continue to see in 2022 is the fact that we could go to concerts this year.
Absolutely.
And so I don't know about you guys. I only went to one concert and that was with the two of you. That was the Guns N' Roses show.
That's right.
Just the fact that people could go to concerts again, I think is a big deal, because 2020 was pretty much a whole year of no in-person concerts. I shouldn't say there were no concerts, because there was the virtual remote format.
Yeah.
And there's still some of that happening, but people can actually go to an in-person concert and get that experience. So that was, for me, that was a highlight, I would say, of 2021, was the ability to go see a concert again.
I already have two shows lined up for next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Steve Vai is one.
Nice.
And then going to see a band, Turnstyle.
Oh, okay.
They are coming around at the Worcester Palladium. And
there we go.
Yeah, they're with like 5 other bands, so it'll be like a full group of various groups. But yeah, going to see Turnstyle.
Very cool.
And that's in May, so still got a little bit of time.
I think
you said 3 shows?
2.
2. Oh,
2
sorry.
shows.
Okay.
I think one of the highlights to, piggyback off of what you were saying, Kayla, about that show and I think we could all be in agreement that, when you go to a show, you have that exciting vibe. Everyone's excited to go ahead and see the bands and, just have a good time. But I think this had almost like a more stronger vibe, because everyone was in that same mentality of like, we're going to see shows again. It's great to randomly talk with and laugh with someone that you don't even know and still have a great time.
Shout out to Woo Guy.
Shout out to the Woo Guy. He was definitely feeling it that night. And if you don't know what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, go reference back to one of our episodes when we're talking about
the Guns N' Roses show recap.
The Guns N' Roses show.
Recap, yep.
But it's definitely a stronger vibe, in which I hope that vibe still continues, especially with now concerts starting to come around more again, and just being able to really enjoy the art.
And I feel like the crowd energy is, maybe we were in our homes for a year and a half, and that's just the way it always has been. So it just felt more vivid going back to a show and experiencing people around, and everyone's doing it in the same place, really.
True.
And so, going to additional shows be interesting to gauge that experience against the first show that we went to together, and then is it always just awesome? I would like to think yes. But it's still an interesting perspective. Maybe it's always been this cool, and I mean that's why people always want to go to shows. But I don't know. Maybe it's
we took it for granted.
I get the extra hype, but I want to gauge it against other shows. And I'll report back.
Yes, I was going to say it'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are on that after you've attended a few more shows this upcoming year and you have something to compare it to. I feel like you're right.
So speaking of shows, okay, and I read this and I definitely want to talk about it because it definitely could have some opinions to it. I definitely have mine, but I'm going to talk about. So I'll bring up probably the worst part of right now, the 2021, when it comes down to the world of music. So I was reading, and again, just for the side note,
Does it have to do with A&R reps?
no, it doesn't actually.
Okay.
Surprisingly, no, it doesn't. Actually,
Spoiler alert. Just kidding.
I was really surprised about this, especially with this artist. And also staying away from the politics and whatnot. Like, hey, listen, art and, music is about just, being creative and just being free. Okay. I think when it takes to another approach, especially when you don't have to worry about it, is a problem for me. So I was reading a article yesterday about Eric Clapton.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if you guys read it, but to be honest, it pissed me off. Gotta be straight up honest. It actually lost some brownie points for the guy.
Can you summarize? Because I haven't read it. Okay.
Yeah. So the summarization is that Eric Clapton sued a woman for a bootleg CD that was released back in the 80s that was given to her by her late husband. Now, this is where my problem is. Number one,
she put it on for sale on eBay for 11
okay,
pounds.
so you read the article.
Her husband passed away. She was cleaning out his stuff. She had this Eric Clapton CD, used CD. It's kind of a odd. It's like recording from a live performance from like '87, and she put it on eBay for like $11, and basically now is being sued for thousands of dollars for selling a bootleg copy of Eric Clapton work that A, she didn't even know. B, she took that post down within 24 hours of posting it on eBay, so it was never sold. So there's no transaction in actual selling of this particular CD, but now she's on the hook for like $3,000 in court fees because Eric Clapton, or maybe not him personally, but maybe someone on his legal team was like, whatever, cease and desist with that.
Yeah.
And
so I was going to ask, is
Crazy
it
story.
him or is it his label that's suing her? Because it seems like sometimes the labels do things that the artists don't like. Okay. So I sent you guys yesterday a post from Living Color that Sony took down their video from Cult of Personality. And they're like, hey, Sony, thanks for removing our video of our music that we posted. And it seemed like they didn't even have any knowledge of it. So I'm curious, is it Eric and his representation, or is it his label that's suing this woman?
The articles are citing Eric.
Yeah,
really?
It's citing Eric. Yeah. And that's where my problem, and that's where my personal problem is. Because first off, number one, okay, we're talking first off.
Who's buying CDs?
It's a friggin' CD.
Well, it's a bootleg from '87. How good can that quality honestly be?
But number two, okay, if it's of a live performance, which means more than likely any of those songs, okay, were probably already released. Okay, but number three, okay, if the woman has, this was from her late husband who claims that he bought it from a store. Okay, well, the first question would be okay, maybe what store, maybe have a conversation with them if they're still in production. But the ultimate one is you are a multi-millionaire artist going after some woman, okay, that made an honest mistake. Okay. And it's either way, it's still, whether it is Clapton or whether it's his management, it still goes and reflects off of him. Okay. And to go ahead and say, I'm going to sue this person for thousands of dollars because of a bootleg. See, it's like, come on, man. Like, are you serious?
And the judge upheld the charge too.
Yeah. And hold up the charge. So so even if he were to see that, that's like pennies to him. Okay. This is like pocket change. So it's like, you know what? I have no respect for that. Like, okay, you know what? If someone, and again, if the fact is just like what Ted mentioned, she put it on, okay, and took it down. It didn't even sell. Okay, if anything, okay, cease and desist, fine. Okay, here, you know what? Here's the damn CD. Okay, take it. But to go ahead and then sue, It's
only
it's
going to
like,
get $11 out of the deal. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I'm kind of
It's not
wondering
like-
if
it's not like a lot of
and is
money.
that gonna hold? Like, are they gonna actually continue to pursue that now that
Yeah.
there's
The judge-
articles
the
out
judge
there
upheld
about
it.
this?
she's appealing
Really?
it. Yeah.
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 The first judge upheld it. So even
So, and
yeah.
of course, the typical, we reached out to Eric's management and there's no comment. We haven't heard anything. It's like,
Right.
really? Okay. You just completely lost all my, you just definitely lost some respect of mine because come on, man. Like really, you're gonna sue someone, okay, for literally pennies according to who you are. And then it's stupid. Like you got anything else better to do?
Well, and I feel like they're going after the wrong person if they're not the ones who recorded it. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. There's so many. I feel like bootleg copies of concerts out there, and you can even find. God, go search. I'm going to use it as an example because I know it exists. Go search Metallica live concert from like 1980 whatever, and you'll find bootlegged shows that people recorded that are circulating around YouTube. And the last I checked, Metallica wasn't going after them. I know people like to give them a lot of crap for the Napster thing, but I don't see them walking around handing out lawsuits to people for putting up bootleg concerts up on YouTube and stuff. In fact, I think they've even released, or maybe it wasn't them officially, but I know I personally own bootlegged vinyl records that I've bought down at my favorite vinyl store here in Littleton, the Vinyl Vault, and nobody's come after me, but maybe now I'm a target to get sued.
Shout it out now. You ratted it up.
I mean, I didn't record them. I didn't exist when they were recorded. I can tell you right now because they're from like 1986, and I was not around, so wasn't me.
The one thing I could say is, okay, if there's any type of reasoning to believe, if you're going to go after someone, okay, for copyrighted music, okay, I can understand if it's maybe unreleased music. Okay, like say someone's recording a new album and some engineer, some idiot within the studio, okay, decides to release and say, oh, hey, this is Metallica's, 2023 release coming off. Okay, I can understand that. Because it's completely showing no respect toward the band and their craft.
Right.
But something that's over 25 years ago, like, and you're talking about it now, like, first off, okay, if that was the case, then, I mean, technology is definitely advanced, okay, within the past 25 years. And if this store supposedly had this bootleg record, okay, where has any of this come up? Because I'm sure there had to be some sort of acknowledgement of some sort. And it just happened to be that this poor woman, okay, is going through her late husband. That's, by the way, her late husband, no longer here, dead, okay, to go ahead and sue and have no remorse for that. Like, I'm sorry, I have no respect for that. And especially if it's coming from the artist, then I have no respect for that. I don't care how good you are, okay. These people pay to go ahead and watch you, and that's how you got to treat them. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yeah, I know it's probably setting an example, like when they started cracking down on the Napster downloads, and they took like 20 people and, like, for lack of a better term, crucified them and scared everyone off, and to try not to do that. I kind of feel like it's the same thing. It's just a terrible situation for that woman to be in, because it's, I agree, it's not fair.
It's a rarity.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, it's a CD from the 80s. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's
on eBay,
silly.
no less. Like, were they scouring eBay looking for things on there that weren't supposed to be on there? I mean,
guarantee you could probably look on eBay right now, just type in bootleg, and you'll get a crap load of, pieces of items.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah,
bootleg piece of crap on a toilet paper. Here you go. Oh, cease and desist. That's mine. Get out of my face.
That's a pretty crappy, no pun intended. That's a pretty crappy situation all around. I didn't plan that. I hadn't heard about that. That really stinks.
Yeah, it's a really. Yeah, I know, Ted, I don't know how you felt and whatnot, but after I read that article, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I
come
am
on.
hoping to see more of the follow up with that.
Definitely.
To see how that actually plays, and hopefully, obviously it's got some attention, but maybe she doesn't have to pay $3,000 and just these fees and whatever.
Right.
So.
Or maybe Eric goes, hey, you know what? Wow, I was a douche. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Okay, hey, you know what? Okay,
There's
cool.
hope for that.
Oh, by the way, we're still in a pandemic. Okay, so it's not like, yeah, that's wow. I'm getting fired up. It's like it's on levels of like A&R reps.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should probably move on here before Matt gets too far down the path of a big rant that turns into an A&R rep rant. I kind of feel, I mean, I've got plenty on my list of good and bad from 2021, but I feel like maybe Ted might want to talk about some stuff here because Matt and I have tied up a bit of time so far. So
gotcha. Well,
Ted,
I do have a few shout outs for best of 2021. Sure. My favorite thrash album of the year goes to Nervosa, Perpetual Chaos. They're an all-female band, combination of members from Brazil and Spain. Really good thrash album. Rates high on all the thrash charts, but that was really good. Also, nice. Song of the week that I've already done this year. Just bring it up again. Best of 2021. Turnstyle, Glow On. That album is awesome. The whole thing is great. I understand Turnstyle's sound changed quite a bit compared to what they used to do as like a hardcore band, and then turned to this like radio friendly. Glow On is not what they're used to making. I was talking to my friend Eli about that, who was a guest on the show, and he knows Turnstyle from back in the day, and he was saying I don't know how I feel about this new album. It's completely different than what they used to do. But it's grown on him. Now he likes it. So, nice. Yeah, it's just interesting. But for first introduction for me for that band, fantastic. Really love that. Lorna Shore's To the Hellfire. That song alone blew up the internet on reaction videos and the absolute growls, screams, things that the singer does at the very end. Outrageous. Great. Arguably one of my favorite songs of the year, just because it is on the more extreme end and pushing the boundary of what can be done. But that blew up the internet this year. I really loved Gojira's new album that came out this year, Fortitude. That was good, easy listen. And obviously, re-shout out to our guests from a year ago, The Ritualist, and their January 1st release, which now exactly 1 year ago. And that album, those 5 songs, phenomenal. Still highly rated on my list of songs. So brief shout out to all those things. And one other thing, there's a new genre apparently that's come out it's a combination of like EDM and metal. And if you're familiar with the band Eskimo Callboy, and that's
a great name.
Eskimo Callboy is a German group that has also blown up the internet with some really hilarious music videos. So they have 3, there's more, but the 3 in particular that everyone really knows, Hypa, We Got the Moves, and the newest one came out 2 weeks ago called Pump It. And there's like this weird like 80s vibe to all of them, but it's Euro pop, almost industrial techno, but it has really heavy breakdown guitars. That new genre, partycore. Everyone's talking about this band inventing partycore because it is a weird blend of Euro techno, EDM, and metal. And shout out to Eskimo Callboy because their videos are hilarious, and if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend it. We Got the Moves. Start with that one. Hypa, you won't be disappointed. And Pump It. I mean, those 3 are outrageously good. Matt, you will love them. They are stupid funny.
All right. I'm doing it right. I'm going to check them out right after the show.
I highly recommend it. So
I also feel like those could be great call signs for the next Top Gun movie coming out. It's up there, Eskimo and Cowboy.
Eskimo Cowboy. Yeah. But that was another one that was like, wow, 2021 had a lot of cool stuff happen in the music world. And that's really good. And I can't wait to see your reaction. I feel like after this episode, we'll tee up one of the videos and watch and get to see your reaction for it, because it's really funny.
Nice. I gotta check that out. Yeah. What I find interesting is a lot of the groups that you talked about just now are not, I don't know, maybe they are more mainstream, but I haven't heard of them. I don't know if they're groups that you largely discovered either through, I know you watch a lot of YouTube videos that kind of lead you to new music, or in the various chat rooms that you're in for the streams that you watch. I know you found some new music through there as well. And I feel like for me, 2021 was kind of the same way. And the last several episodes that Keisha and I did together, we talked a lot about artists that we had discovered through social media, and in particular through TikTok. And Matt was part of some of those as well. And there's really, there is some great music out there. And I feel like last year, our recap, we had more mainstream. Like I know we talked about Seven Dust quite a bit, and I forget offhand what other bands we talked about. I'd have to go back through, but a lot of them I feel like were more mainstream, well-known bands. And this year, I feel like I spent a lot more time listening to artists that are not getting radio play, that they're putting out phenomenal music, but kind of like, actually, so Ted, the show that we did with Jay a couple of weeks ago, your song of the week was The Wash-Ups, Philadelphia Avenue.
Yeah.
And I listened to that, obviously, when I put the show together, and I was like, this is really good. And the point you made was like, they've got this great song. It's a well-done music video, and they've got
40 views on YouTube
views or something. Yeah, maybe 40 at this point.
Right.
Which is just, to me, amazing that there's so much good music out there, and it's just largely undiscovered in comparison to like artists that have a label backing them, get more promotion of their music. But there's a ton of great music out there. And so like for me, the highlight of 2021, I think just in general, I would say there's a lot of crap on social media, and in particular on TikTok, but there's also a lot of really great stuff, and it's a great way to discover music. And so like just some highlights is some music that I have been listening to that I've discovered through social media. Sonny and the Black Pack, Matt, we talked briefly about them in the Christmas episode. They do have originals, but it's largely covers, but they're putting their own spin on them. And it's really, really cool stuff that I highly recommend checking out. They go live on TikTok, I think just about every night. They do a set, and then they move over to Twitch, and they do a set on Twitch they usually have a bass player, backup singers. It's a much bigger lineup than what they do in Twitch, where it's just Sonny on the keyboards, and then they've got an acoustic guitar, and they've got a drummer who I think is playing some sort of an electronic. It's not even an electric drum set. It's just some sort of electric all-in-one drum system. I don't know anything about it. I just know that it's not a drum set. And it's really, really cool stuff that they do. And then Colm, I don't know if you pronounce his name Colm or Calm, R. McGinnis, who's an Irish singer. And Keisha and I talked a lot about him. We spent a whole episode actually talking about him. And he's a musician, singer, songwriter, but he plays Celtic mandolin, he plays acoustic guitar, he plays violin, he plays some instruments that I have no idea what they are, but they're very cool looking and they sound really cool. And he's putting out these very simple but well-produced music videos on YouTube, and I'm looking at them and thinking, this guy's only got, and I say only, it seems like a lot, but it's not in a grand scheme, he's only got 250,000 views on this cover of Sound of Silence. He did the Disturbed version of Sound of Silence, and I'm like, why is this not getting more views? This is phenomenal. This should have millions of views, but it doesn't. And Sanjay Kumar from the group Foy, which I think is, I don't know if Foy is actually band or if it's just Sanjay with electronic computerized tracks, I guess. I don't know what you would call them, but drums and bass. I don't think he actually has a drummer or bass player, but Foy, Sanjay's put out some really, really cool stuff. And I talked about him at length on one of our episodes. This guy, Philip Bowen Music, that I found on TikTok the other night. The guy plays fiddle and he does covers of all kinds of different songs. He's got some originals too, but he also did a Sound of Silence Disturbs cover of Sound of Silence with the fiddle, which was really cool.
Does he have a cover of Devil Went Down in Georgia?
I
you know, he could.
I feel like if you're a fiddle player, that has to be
it's required
on the list.
Yeah.
I feel like he could. I didn't. He's got a lot of videos, and I didn't watch all of them. I just kind of skimmed through and looked for some songs that I knew to just check out and see how he had covered them. But I wouldn't be surprised if he had Devil Went Down to Georgia in there somewhere. I'm sure he's probably got a bunch of people who request that, because how do you not?
Right.
And then one more that I had on my list is I think he's a solo artist, but he goes by Hazy, Hazy, and he just released an album. It's all cover songs called To Each Their Own, and he's got some really, really incredible stuff. He's a phenomenal vocalist, and he does covers of what I found initially was his cover of Wicked Game by Chris Isaac, popped up on my For You page of TikTok. And I, of course, went over to his account and started looking through to see what else he had. And turns out that album, he does a cover of Nutshell by Alice in Chains, which I've said it before. There are certain bands that I feel like as a vocalist, it's really hard to do a cover of their songs and do it justice. Mm-hmm. And Alice in Chains is one of those groups. I would highly recommend checking out Hazy's cover of Nutshell, because I think he does a really good job of doing that justice without necessarily trying to imitate Lane Staley, but it does sound kind of like Lane Staley. Right. Yeah. It's got that kind of feel. He also does a cover of The Unforgiven. He does a really cool cover of The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, which I would recommend checking out. I mean, I haven't listened to all the songs he's got on this album, but he's got a lot of really cool covers, and I really like his singing style. So definitely worth checking out. So that I will leave that there as far as my positives, but I'll say just overall in a nutshell, I think that social media and YouTube have been a really great place in 2021 to discover new music, because I feel like there's not a lot of good music on the radio these days on
there isn't.
Mainstream. Yeah. I can't tell
unless
you.
it's don't listen to the radio at all. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Unless it's satellite or YouTube or TikTok.
I do listen to Mike Shue in the morning. And I would listen to Carrie in the afternoon, except for usually I'm in the middle of phone calls and stuff at that point, and it's hard for me to be able to listen to the radio while I'm at work. But I do listen to Mike Shue, and the only reason I really listen is because it's Mike Shue. Otherwise, it's all there are no local rock stations that are really playing new rock music. It's all classic rock, and it's kind of scary at this point, some of the songs that they consider classic rock, that I'm like
Green Day.
I'm like, that's not Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh really? Is this really classic rock? I guess maybe at this point it is probably close to 30 years old, so yeah, maybe it would be classic rock. But then I'm also sick of hearing Living on a Prayer for the 9 millionth time on that station. So it's like, I don't listen to a lot of mainstream radio because there's not really new music on it. And I like those songs. Don't get me wrong. I like them, but I like to hear new music. I get kind of tired of hearing some of those older songs over and over and over again, like the same 25, 30 songs over and over throughout the day.
I can't deal with the ads.
The ads drive me nuts.
Drive me nuts.
So the one station that I can still give kudos to when it comes down to a lot of good music, but also new music as well, is Emerson College's 88.9. I feel like that college station, and there's also another college station as well that play everything that's underground or something that's new, or they'll even have local artists come in and do a live show or whatnot. So here and there, I'll tune into, especially if at night, if I have to take a long drive somewhere, I'll tune into 88.9 and just listen to whatever they have. And I think what's also great too about that station is their shows are also dedicated to different categories. So take, for instance, they have a category which was called the Playground, and I think it was like from 6 to 8, and it's all, kind of one of those, fun type of tunes, some children tunes, some other things, like almost like a Bob Rivers type of thing. But then they also have on Sundays, like, Sunday morning, it's all acoustic shows, songs. And then later on the day, they could have something that's like all Broadway. So I think that's something that's, and it's not like it's the exact same playlist. So like if you listen to a station in very, very specifically, you'll notice, especially if they play songs, that's almost like, wait, I've heard the song earlier. This was like 8 hours ago. And you notice, it's on
I'm still
repeat.
listening to the radio and you've already started repeating songs. Like
exactly. It's like
worst.
it becomes irrelevant and whatnot. Yeah. One thing I took away from 2021 as far as music was actually coming back was I was watching some rerun shows and realized that, wow, there's a lot of good bands, that had a lot of great music as well as artists through some shows that didn't even pick up on. So one show in which I won't spoil it because I'll talk about it for my song of the week, but I've been rewatching Shameless and realized, wow, there's a lot of good tunes in the background. But not only that, so my Spotify blew up with a lot of songs from Shameless, but I also watched the movie Beautiful Boy, which is a Stephen Carell movie. It's actually a serious role movie. Oh, yeah. And even that movie had a lot of great tunes behind it as well. Didn't get the recognition that it deserves. Then again, it's based off of a book, but on a realistic note about addiction and whatnot, but great movie with a great soundtrack. And that was something that, I definitely took away from, 2021. Some of the bands I took away from, especially just from that movie, was I've heard of Mogwai and whatnot. So they're always a great one. The song that they had was Holliston 1, and also an artist called Zola Jesus or Zola Jesus and Johnny Jewel. They have a song called Wise Blood, and it's a remix. So that had a good taste to it behind it as well. But definitely a dramatic movie, strong movie, but definitely came out with a lot of positivity as far as great music behind that motion picture.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe the elephant in the room for worst of 2021.
We all know what it is.
Yeah.
We all agree and we know exactly what it is.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the bin.
Limp Bizkit, but then also this artist, I cannot stand it. I actually turn off the radio. This Kid Laroi. He's got the song called Stay with.
Yeah. Just highly popular on TikTok right now with a lot of videos. Yeah. What? How do people follow this? I think it's like, if I can make the song equivalent to something, it would be like taking a dump in a toilet and putting glitter in it. Okay. That's just how crappy it is. But I can't stand the song. I cannot stand it. I can see why people think it's, I think people like it because it's so commercialized and it's everywhere, especially in the world of TikTok. Or there's another song called Beggin'. It's like, guys, come on, man. Get out of my face with that. I don't know if I've heard that one. I'd have to go look it up.
Don't even look it up.
Okay. All right. All right.
No.
Yeah, I watched a video that was just reviewing like the worst of 2021, and it's all mostly pop songs. Iggy Azalea was the worst of the year with like anything she touches is just crappy.
Oh, geez.
And that song that she had was also crappy, and they just absolutely tore it apart. It was comical to listen to. But I as you know, I'm not really in the pop genre, but nice to poke my head up and be like, yep, still sucks. Can't come back down into my metal cavern and stay in my rock lane.
Go back into the submarine, pull in the periscope.
Listen, I've said it in an earlier post. I think I said it in other posts as well. And hell, I have the balls to say it. Okay, you take all of us in a room and compare it to the artists out there, and I swear we would kick their butt. We would destroy them in an improvised jam session. We would destroy them.
We have a lot of talent. Patting our own.
Yeah, we do.
Patting ourselves on the back.
Listen, not egotistical, okay, but when it comes down to
it's
listen, we have 20 plus it's fact. It's fact. Put a Justin Bieber in our room and we'll destroy him.
We'll just keep him in Canada.
Yeah,
exactly. Keep them in Canada. Yeah, can't compare. Can't get us on. Can't compare us
that's
to
one export that can stay where it belongs. Yep.
Well, along with Nickelback,
Drake, all of it.
But
I
then
don't think
again,
they put anything new out this year for us to talk about, though.
That's our music, though, for today. That's our music. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, true. One other. So not related to music I've been listening to, but something cool that happened in 2021 that will continue into 2022 for me that you guys, I think, already know about because I think I shared with you.
Yes.
But something arrived today and we're filming this on a Sunday. So surprise, surprise. I haven't even had a chance to open it yet. But there's a box sitting behind me here.
I wonder what that box is.
So I won a build your own guitar kit from StuMac and an artist named Ariel who my dad and I actually saw a few years back at the Bull Run, which is a few towns over. We've talked about some different shows that I've seen there in the past. Eric Johnson was playing and Ariel was his opener and she played a few songs with him. And she had a really cool red and blue custom guitar that she had built herself. And my dad could not stop talking about how cool he thought this guitar was and the fact that she had built it. And so I do find a little bit of irony, I guess. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but it's the only word I can think of to best describe this at the moment, in the fact that the kit that I won was her giveaway that she had teamed up with StuMac to give away. Because my dad and I had talked about building a guitar for a long time and we never got around to it. So it's a Strat style guitar. I haven't even opened the box yet. I know nothing about building a guitar, but I am told by the wonderful folks at StuMac that this kit is designed for a beginner guitar builder who doesn't know anything about building a guitar. And so over the coming weeks and months, I will be working on building this guitar, and maybe I'll try to document it and share with anybody who's interested in following along with that process. I think the build process is probably going to be the easiest part for me. It's actually the finishing process that has me the most concerned, because I know if you don't finish a guitar properly, it will look like crap. And then people will judge it based on the fact that it looks like crap. So I've got some idea of how I'd like to finish it. And I just have to do research to figure out what the best way is to go about finishing it. But so that was something cool that happened in 2021. I'm really excited to build
that. I'm looking forward to complete that project.
Really awesome.
I'm excited about it. I am.
Once it's done, I hope to see it at a jam session.
Oh, you bet it's coming to a jam session. But so I'm debating if you're watching the video version of the show. So there's a Strat that always sits over my right shoulder, maybe left in the video. I'm not 100% sure, but it's my dad's Strat. He had a set of Kirk Hammett KH81 EMGs that were pre-wired into a Strat pickup or a pick guard. And he decided a few years back that he had Texas Specials in his Strat originally. He decided he wanted to put the Texas Specials back in. So I've got this pick guard specifically for a Strat that has the 81s wired into it. And the other guitar that sometimes hangs over my left shoulder is that Seafoam Green Squire Strat that my mom bought me for my birthday a couple of years ago, which was supposed to be what I was going to drop those EMGs into, and I just haven't done it. So now that I've got to build a guitar kind of from scratch, it comes with the pickups and the pick guard, but I'm thinking I may actually drop the EMGs into that. And I'm thinking about, I'll spoiler alert, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing for the finish is a semi-transparent, like a vibrant purple, like an electric purple.
I was going to say, are you going to lean toward like a purple?
Yeah, I don't want to do a blue because it may not show from the guitars hanging behind me that are all more of a natural finish, but I have, you guys know, most of my guitars are blue, which was not intentional. It wasn't. It was just when I went and bought a guitar and I found one I liked, it just happened to be blue. The Seafoam Green is probably the most different color guitar that I have. I don't really count, like my Gibson is a natural finish. I don't really count that toward colors, but I mean of like guitars that are finished with a colored paint, that's the most different out of everything I have. The White Zombie's a whole different beast entirely, mostly black, but it's got a poster print on it. So I'm I've seen a few guitars recently that are this electric purplish color, and I've been kind of drawn to that. I'm like, that's a really cool color, and I feel like it could be a really cool color for a Strat that's not really going to be your standard type of Strat, where I'm going to potentially drop some heavier pickups in there that are more of a rock metal style pickup than your standard Strat single coil pickups that come in a Strat. So that's where I'm leaning. It could change as I start to do more research and figure out how I want to finish the thing, but I'm like, ooh, purple could be kind of a fun color to do.
Is it going to be like Mistress Carey purple, or is it Distorted Opinions purple?
You know,
or just turning it into a Distorted Opinions guitar, just brand it right across the front.
I was going to say, you have a decal on the back.
I hadn't even really considered the purple as the Distorted Opinions purple. Like I hadn't looked at it from that perspective. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't know. That cool borders purple. On. I'm not. It is a cool purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking more toward the redder side of purple than the blue side of purple, but I don't know. I haven't finalized anything yet. I've really just started to look like at a nice finishing options.
Burgundy color.
That could be nice too. Yeah, I don't know. I debated on
smoky burgundy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I said, nothing is finalized, so I haven't officially picked a color, but I am leaning toward a semi-transparent purple, and it's kind of also going to depend on what the top looks like, and I haven't taken it out of the box yet, so I have no idea what the wood looks like completely unfinished. If it's got a cool top to it, then a semi-transparent would be nice. If it's not so nice looking, then I maybe don't necessarily want to go with a semi-transparent, but I got to open the box and find out. And I literally got it like an hour before we started the show, and I haven't had time to open up the box yet and check everything out in there. So just thought I'd mention in passing that that's something that's coming in 2022 that I will try to document for those who want to follow along with the process. If you've never built a guitar like me and you want to follow along with that and maybe learn what not to do along the way, I'll try to document it and share it on our social media accounts for people who are interested. But that is a 2021 happening that will carry over.
With the 2022 completion date.
That's right.
Hopefully it does not take me more than a year to build this thing. Hopefully it doesn't take me more than a few months. I mean, they say it's fairly easy. I don't have to do any of the fret work on the neck. I don't have
Ideal.
to. I'll probably have to do a bit of soldering. That's fine. I know how to solder. Don't know if the neck has any finish on it or if I'm going to have to do some finish on the neck, but it comes with all the hardware and everything. And they say there's lots of videos on the website, and whoever it is that I was communicating with from Stu Mac about getting it to me has been super helpful about sending me all kinds of useful resources. And they said, reach out if you have any questions when you start to build it. And I was like, fantastic. There's a good chance that's going to happen because I have no idea what I'm doing. So,
It'll be fine.
We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, so stay tuned on that. And on that note, I don't know if you guys had anything else in particular you wanted to talk about before we move on to our song of the week, because believe it or not, but we're quickly approaching an hour.
Just the song of the week.
All right. Time for song of the week. So I'll do a quick reminder. And then I don't know if you guys want me to go first or if you want to. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
So just a reminder, if you're new to the show, we have a Spotify Song of the Week playlist. We put all of our Song of the Week picks in their entirety into that playlist. We put the link in the description to every show. And if you're watching the video version, we also have a Spotify scan code that we'll put up on the screen. All you have to do is open Spotify on your phone or mobile device. In the search bar, there's a little camera icon. Tap that and hold your device up to the screen. It'll scan the code and take you to the playlist. We also have a new playlist for our song review segment that we've been doing, and there aren't a ton of songs in there yet, but you can check out any of the songs that we've talked about on previous shows, and hopefully we continue to get more songs through 2022, and we can add to that list and watch that list grow as well. I won't put a scan code on screen for that, but I have been putting that link to that playlist in the description of all of the recent shows, so you can go check that out by heading to the description of the show. And on that note, let's get into the song of the week. I guess I'll go ahead and go first. So my song of the week, I actually picked a song from this artist a few episodes back, and we talked about this artist quite a bit. And it is The Pilgrim by Foy off of the 2021 album Singles, and then in parentheses 01. This song I actually heard on Instagram. Jack at Jacketto Picks used it in one of his videos that he had posted, and I was like, that's a pretty cool song. What is that? And so I went and looked it up on Spotify, and sure enough, there it was, The Pilgrim. And Foy is, as I mentioned earlier, Sanjay Kumar out of India, and he's one of the Jacketto artists. And I've been listening to quite a bit of Foy's stuff recently. In fact, he just released a new album or an EP a few weeks ago, which I highly recommend checking out. I believe the track's called The Lighthouse or Lighthouse.
It's not Mayflower.
Mayflower?
Pilgrim,
no.
Mayflower.
No, it's not a continuation of The Pilgrim. Okay. No. I want to say it's called Lighthouse or Lighthouses.
Cape Cod Lighthouse?
Probably not, considering he's in India, unless he's been over in Massachusetts recently and we have not heard about that. It's called The Lighthouse, and actually it's not a single. He's got a whole album that he just released titled Lighthouse. So I haven't had a chance to listen to all of the songs off that yet, but I've seen some of the clips that he's posted on Instagram, and it's very cool stuff. I have not found any of their music that I have not liked. It's very cool guitar stuff, but The Pilgrim is what initially caught my attention and turned me on to listening to Foy. Instrumental, really cool guitar leads. Just give it a listen. Just listen to all of his stuff, but in this situation, give the Pilgrim a listen, because it's a really cool song. And on that note, I'm going to pass it over to Matt or Ted, whichever one of you wants to pick it up.
All right. I'll jump in.
Matt. All right.
So earlier I was talking about, I was watching some reruns this past year and came across a lot of great music. And one of these shows that I've been doing another straight rerun through was the show Shameless. Highly recommend checking it out. It's on Showtime. It did just end the whole series and whatnot, so now it's on Netflix and Amazon and on demand. We're not sponsored by any of those. I'm just giving a personal recommendation. But one of the bands that came out of this was there was a serious scene involving two characters, and the music behind it was instrumental. And I noticed that it was played a couple times and a couple times within the episode, and also in another episode a couple episodes later. So the band that I'm talking about is the band called the Rosebuds. They were formed in 2001. And currently right now on hiatus. Their last album came out in 2014. It's a 2-member group, female and a male. And the song that I'm specifically talking about is from the third album released on April 10th, 2007, called Night of the Furies. The song that I'm referencing is When the Lights Go Dim. Definitely a powerful song. It's, the vocals behind it, she's actually, great. Behind it, her name is Kelly Crisp, and the male is Ivan Howard. So they're being associated with other bands, such as Bon Iver and who else? Bowerbirds, Daniel Hart, Somerset, Lost in the Trees. But what's great about the song is that it's got dark tones to it with, I want to say the guitars are really, really heavy when it comes down to these types of serious situations. But when listening to it, not only is it powerful without the lyrics, but it's also powerful with the lyrics as well. Can't really define it any more than just more kind of like, it's got like this little spacey type of atmosphere, but darker tones. So kind of almost like an underworld type of vibe one up, but definitely recommend checking it out. It's from the Rosebuds. The song is called oh wow, I just completely lost my
When the Lights Go Dim.
When the Lights Go Dim and whatnot, off the third album, The Night of the Furies.
Nice.
Other than that leaves you with Ted. Ted, what do you got?
All right. So I talked about this band in my longer list earlier, and really, and it's another song from this same album that I recommended a couple weeks back. Going again with Turnstyle, because that album's phenomenal. All the songs are 3 minutes or less, and I kind of want them to be longer, but that just means I hit repeat. So it's just super catchy. I'm going with Fly Again, because that one is also really, really good. I had recommended Holiday in the prior recommendation, but I go back and forth between those two songs as just like phenomenal, just get you going, feel good music. So album is probably my favorite of the year, just because it is so catchy. But I had to shout out another song off that album because it's so good. Nice. But nice. I almost went Eskimo Cowboy. I almost went
such a great name still.
Yeah, no, it's, again, you have to watch the 3 music videos that are out. Like, there's 4, but the 3 most recent ones, so hilarious.
If I was a celebrity, and with all these celebrities having their kids calling them weird names, I'd probably go with Eskimo Cowboy.
Right. It's got a great name. So honorable mention, but
nice.
But yeah, that'll be Turnstyle, because the band's just great.
Awesome. I like it. I want to toss out a quick fun fact, because I know Matt's pick was something that he found on Shameless, and I haven't seen too many episodes of it. My dad used to be a huge fan of that show. He watched every episode. And a fun fact for anyone who may not have known, but if you've ever seen The Phantom of the Opera, one of the actresses from
Emmy,
from Shameless, she was the lead female in Phantom of the Opera. So fun fact for you there.
Wow. Emmy Rossum. I mean, that girl can act, but wow, she has a set of pipes.
Yeah.
It wasn't going in a different direction. Don't you think that? But oh my gosh. Wow. If you haven't seen Family Opera, it's her voice. She even does live performances, and she's actually classically trained and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So YouTube Emmy Rossum singing, and She got a great set of pipes.
Yeah. Oh dear. On that note, as a reminder, if you have a suggestion for a future show topic, or if you'd like to be on a show, or if you're an artist and you'd like us to talk about one of your songs on an episode during our song review segment, reach out to us and let us know. There are a few ways you can do that. You can head to our Anchor page at anchor.fm/distorted opinions. You can leave us a voice message over there. You can also find links to our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can leave us a comment on any of those platforms as well. We're also on YouTube. I'm not going to post the link because it's a big, long, ugly link, but we are trying to get to 100 subscribers so that we can get rid of that link. We're a little over halfway there because Jay, who was a guest on a previous episode, went over and subscribed to us in an effort to help us get to that 100 because he wants to see Matt play the Home Depot theme song. And
we'll get there.
So yeah, we're slowly creeping up there. So even if you only listen to the audio only version of the show, go over to YouTube, search for Distorted Opinions, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends and family to hit the subscribe button. We want to get to 100 subscribers so that we can get a nice custom URL. And if we get to 100, Matt will go play the Home Depot theme song in an undisclosed Home Depot location and post a video to social media. And if we get to 150, he'll take it a step further and embarrass himself by wearing skin tight shorts, a tank top, and a pair of his wife's Ugg boots while playing the Home Depot theme in a Home Depot.
You're going to put your mammoth feet in your wife's Ugg boots. You're going to be poking like Fred Flintstone out the front, or like
maybe
they're not going to fit.
It's going to be on like
might have to curl
wear like high heels
on his tiptoes,
curl the toes a little bit. But hey, whatever it takes to try to get this custom URL.
Yes. So head over, hit subscribe. And we also have an email address. You can send us an email at distortedopinionshow@gmail.com. We're pretty responsive. So any of the methods you choose to reach out to us, we will gladly interact with you. And like I said, we would love to get more music for our song review segment. We're always looking for topics for shows. If you have any thoughts on today's topic, if you want to share what you thought some of the best and worst music of 2021 was, reach out to us and let us know, because we'd love to know what you thought. And on that note, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you will continue to join us for 2022, another year. It's going to go by before we know it, if it's anything like 2021. And on that note, we will be back next week with a new episode. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys.
Go Eskimo!